Hello, everybody. My name is Christian Gutierrez, and today I'll be doing a film analysis on the movie Ready Player One, directed by Steven Spielberg and based on the novel by Ernest Cline. So, the setting of this film. It is based in Columbus, Ohio, in the year 2045, and we're in a dystopian future where the world is overcrowded, the resources are very scarce, and people overall just have very little hope. The fabric of the economy is crumbling for the average person, and the wealth disparity is unprecedented. And as you can see here on the lower image, you can see one of the areas where a lot of people live, and they are known as the stacks. And so the stacks are essentially these trailer parks that have actually grown vertically because there just isn't enough space for people to live. And so they have piled trailers on top of each other. And in this world, people escape reality by immersing themselves in hyper-realistic virtual reality experience. And as you can see in the top image, everybody in this feature has access to a VR headset. And so one of the common things that people do to experience VR is to spend time in what is known as the Oasis. And so the Oasis is a highly immersive VR universe where people can live curated identities in alternate worlds. It is the ultimate online virtual experience for the average person. And in the film, upon the death of the Oasis creator, a contest begins to find an Easter egg inside the virtual world and therefore gain ownership of the Oasis upon the discovery of the Easter egg. And to win the egg, 3 hidden keys must be found across several challenges spread all over the Oasis. And so now we'll get into some of the main characters of this film. So first up we have James Halliday, or as his avatar is known in the Oasis, Anorak. And so Halliday is the creator, the designer, and the developer of the Oasis. And then we have Nolan Sorrento, who is the antagonist of the film. And he is the head of a corporation called IOI, which is a company that is set on controlling the entirety of the Oasis for absolute power and corruption. And that takes us to the protagonist of the film, Wade Watts, or Parzival as he's known in the Oasis. And so Wade is a Halliday fanboy who dedicates a lot of his time to finding the Easter egg inside the Oasis. And next up we have Samantha Cook, also known as Artemis in the Oasis, who is also keen on finding the Easter egg. And an important note here is that she's also a member of a rebellion that is strictly against the IOI corporation. And they're trying to prevent the corporation from finding the Easter egg themselves. And last but not least, we have Helen Harris, known as H. And so H is Wade's best friend in the Oasis, who also helps him in their adventures to find the Easter egg. And so now we'll get into the plot of the film. So inside of the Oasis, Wade meets and befriends some fellow egg hunters, who are collectively known as Gunters, who all share a bond over their obsession over James Halliday and the mysterious life that he lived. And they know every small fact about the life of James Halliday. And Wade and his friends want to find the Oasis Easter egg and preserve Halliday's legacy, all the while preventing the IOI corporation from finding the eggs and then using the Oasis purely for financial gain and for complete platform domination. And eventually in the film, Wade is the first one to find a key in the Oasis. And so after Wade and his friends start to find these hidden keys, IOI begins to track them down and attempts to stop them from advancing with any means necessary. And after IOI fails to destroy Wade's avatar inside the Oasis, so they actually attempt to hunt him down and kill his avatar, they commit to tracking down his real identity, so Wade Watts, and killing him in the real world. And Wade manages to survive the attack, and then he reunites with his friends to follow Halliday's clue and eventually find the second key. The IOI corporation does manage to eventually find the first 2 keys, and then they pull in their massive resources to discover the location of the final challenge that, if complete, then would lead to the final key. And they use their immense wealth to purchase items. And as you can see here on the top image, one of these items is the Mecha Godzilla. and some other power-ups, such as a force shield to prevent others from getting near the key's location. And you can see an example of this force shield in the middle image. And so this force shield was placed around where that third challenge was in order to prevent anybody else to come and interfere with their plans. But Wade's friends managed to infiltrate the IOI headquarters, and then they proceed to deactivate the force shield from within. In the end of the film, players from all over the world unite and help to defeat IOI in an epic battle that sends out a clear message that they will no longer tolerate the abuse that IOI has been inflicted upon them. And the chaos of the battle then allows Wade to find the last key and then earn the Easter egg. He is eventually awarded ownership over the Oasis, but he decides to share this ownership with his friends and to collectively establish a healthier VR environment. And there's a comment in the film that they refactored the Oasis so that it is closed down on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And that is sort of like a mental health day for people to go outside and not be indoors in this virtual simulation. And this takes us now to the importance of the film. And this movie brings up quite a few of the moral and ethical issues that come with people living their lives solely or mostly online, and the detriment of using technology as an escape from reality. And one of the scenes of the film that demonstrates this is that after a person died in the game, that player lost the will to live due to the true sense of loss that they experienced, both in the virtual and the real world. The film also touches on people's options to completely reinvent themselves online. And one of these examples is with H, who is actually a female in the real world, but plays a male character in the Oasis, and has actually kept their true identity a secret from Wade, who is their best friend. And it's not until later in the film that Wade actually finds out that H is a female. Another example is with another one of Wade's friends named Sho. And Sho is actually 11 years old in the real world, but plays an avatar that is an adult ninja. And he also keeps his true identity. He keeps his age a secret from his friends. And it's not until later on in the movie that they find out that he's actually a child. And he explains that he keeps his age a secret in order to not be bullied or harassed online when he's playing in the Oasis. Another topic that the movie hits is that the more invested that a person is in the Oasis, the more in-game and real-life rewards they can gain. And so this actually leads to a lot of people sacrificing tremendous amounts of hours, of weeks, months, and years of their time and human physical interaction to instead exist inside of this virtual world and be caged inside of their own minds and be caged in their homes for prolonged amounts of time. Another point is that the Oasis provides this illusion of upwards mobility for the poor population. And this illusion actually keeps people distracted from rebelling against their oppressors and the corruption in these established systems of oppression. Another point is that the Oasis works to keep the poor impoverished and quote-unquote blinded inside of this virtual world, while the rich get to enjoy the real physical world, and they keep monetizing from keeping these collective masses living inside of a simulation. And a point that they make in the film is that a person could live as their ideal avatar and wear flashy clothes and visit all their dream virtual locations. But once they take off that headset, they are back to living in poverty and enduring the harsh reality of their lives. And one last point that is important is that all this is further perpetuated by the constant exposure to advertisements for luxury goods within the virtual world. And an example of this within the film is that there is a certain point where the IOI Corporation is actually considering filling up the players, 80% of the players' field of view with advertisements, and they claim that within the realm of what is legal, that they can fill up to 80% of the user's field of view with ads before they induce any sort of seizures. And that just goes to show just the raw corruption that exists with these powerful corporations. And thank you very much. That ends my presentation. Thank you all very much for listening. And now we will get into some of the discussion questions. So the first discussion question is, What should VR developers keep in mind when creating increasingly immersive and realistic virtual worlds? And some things to consider here are things like escapism, addiction, and mental illness of the players. The second question is, an oasis is defined as an illusion amidst a desolate, barren environment depleted of resources. So, why would they have chosen Oasis as the name of this virtual world? The third question is, what do character avatars tell us about human desires and insecurities, and how does virtual reality affect these human traits? Question number 4. How can real world wealth play a role in players' ability to participate and enjoy virtual experiences and challenges? And one thing to consider here is the ability to use real world money in order to purchase in game items or to exchange that real world money for digital currency.